To make jollof rice, make sure you have a good tomato base. So for this jollof I'll be using fresh tomatoes, shombo, some habanero pepper and tatashe. Yes, so that's what I'm using for today's jollof rice. So you put it on fire without putting any water. This water you're seeing is the tomato that produced it. So I'm boiling it and then I added a little bit of salt. After stirring, I went ahead to add some onions. Guys, it's very, very important that you use this combination as your tomato base, because this is what will guarantee that you will have a very tasty jollof. So after that, I went ahead to marinate my chicken. Okay, so point of note, I did this a day before I did the actual cooking, because usually I like marinating my chicken the day before, and I also like prepping my base the day before. So this is me just marinating the chicken with some curry, thyme, ginger and garlic paste, salt, seasoning cubes, and chicken seasoning. That's about what I use to marinate the chicken. Guys, marinate your chicken 24 hours before, and guys, the seasoning, the taste will get to the bone. Like even when you're chewing the bone, it will be very, very tasty. Make sure you do this and thank me later. So at this point, I'm done marinating the chicken. I'll just put it inside the freezer, and then I go ahead to blend the tomato. Guys, can you see how red? The color alone. Can you see how red this tomato base is looking? So after blending it, I now went ahead. Okay, now this is now the next day. So guys, before I boil my chicken, especially if I'm making a large quantity of food, I first of all put water in the pot, and then I season the water with salt, seasoning cubes, some thyme, some curry. I season the water and allow the water to boil before I pour in the chicken. Now I do this because first of all, I use a soft chicken, the type that is called soft chicken. So chicken can overcook easily or when you leave it inside water. So when I do this process of seasoning the water and bringing it to boil first before pouring in the chicken, it quickens the cooking process. And before you know it, the chicken is properly cooked. So that is what I did, in case you're wondering what was inside the water before I poured the chicken. So at this point, I went ahead to fry the chicken. Yes, so I also like to grill. So it really depends. Sometimes I fry and sometimes I grill. So I'm frying the chicken. After frying the chicken, I also make up, because I'm making it pepper chicken. So I also went ahead to fry the pepper. So now for my pepper chicken, I use basically tatashe, habanero pepper, and lots of onions. I don't use tomato. I don't add tomato when I am frying the sauce that I would use to pepper my chicken. I only use tatashe, habanero pepper, and lots of onions, and then I fry with vegetable oil and then add seasoning cube and salt, and that's basically it. And guys, when you eat this pepper chicken, it dey enter. So at this point, I am done frying the chicken and I'm just sieving the oil. I'm removing the particles. When frying the chicken, the thyme, it usually leaves particles in the oil. So I'm just sieving out the oil. Yes, so after sieving out the oil, I go ahead to fry some chopped onions. This will be poured inside the stew for the jollof. Yes, so I go ahead to fry the onions. I love doing this, honestly. Since I started doing this method, I just find out that my jollof tastes better. So now this is the chicken stock, and then I went ahead to pour in the tomato. Yes, the mixture of tomato, tatashe, shombo, and habanero pepper. That is what I'm pouring inside the stock. And I added a little bit of also tomato puree, just a little. I could have actually skipped not using tomato puree, to be honest, but I just put a little. I just put a little. Guys, I don't fry my tomato for jollof rice. I don't bother. And yet my jollof rice tastes so amazing. So this is me adding some seasoning. This is a Maggi signature jollof, specifically for jollof rice. And then I went ahead to add ginger and garlic paste. I always have blended ginger and garlic. So this is the tomato puree. You can see it's not much. I just added little. I added some curry, and then I added some nut cubes, stirred, tasted. So this is paprika. Yes, I always use this for my jollof rice. It also helps with the color. So this is paprika. That's basically dried this is dried bell pepper, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So I always use paprika for my jollof. And then I stirred, and then I allow this thing to boil. I'll allow it to boil properly, and after boiling, I'll now pour in the fried onions and still allow it to boil some more. While that is boiling, I went ahead to fry the sauce for the chicken. Like I said, I use only tatashe, onions, and habanero pepper. That is what I use for my pepper chicken. I don't add tomato. So this is me adding some chicken seasoning. I use Kitchen Glory. There is a brand called Kitchen Glory, so that is what I use. So this is me adding the chicken seasoning. I also added some nut cubes, and then I just fried this very well. So now when you're frying these things, how you know that it is properly fried is when you start seeing oil float on top. That is when you know that it has properly fried. So at this point, it has cooked well. So I'll just go ahead to pepper the chicken. So now how I pepper the chicken, I pour in some chicken, I scoop the pepper sauce and spread it on top of the chicken, like I do it in batches or in layers. And then when I'm done coating the chicken with the pepper sauce, I add tiny water inside the pot, and then I put it on low heat, and then just allow it to like steam so that the pepper sauce will seep into the chicken very well. So at this point, I'm pouring in the onions into the jollof base. Yes, so then I added some bay leaves. I tasted for salt to be sure that everything is in its right proportion. I stirred, and then I allowed it to boil properly. So now it is boiling well, and I proceeded to pour in the thoroughly washed rice. I'm using Nigerian local rice, but this is a very good rice, and it doesn't get soggy, it doesn't overcook easily. So after pouring in the rice, I will stir it very, very well to be sure that it is properly mixed. Oh yes, very, very important that you stir your rice properly. Stir it very well to be sure that it is properly mixed. So after stirring, I'll just go ahead and cover it, and then I'll allow it to cook. So here I'm checking the rice. The water is drying up. The water is drying up here, but the rice is still hard. As you can even see from this video, the rice is still very hard. So I added some more water. So that it can at least cook to a reasonable extent before I now lock in the steam. So this is me just adding some more water to allow it to cook, because I didn't parboil the rice. I don't parboil my rice if I'm making jollof rice. I don't bother. I just wash the rice very, very well till the water is clean, and then I go ahead and use the rice. So I don't parboil. So because I did not parboil the rice, it will take a longer time to cook. So at this point, the rice is like 70% soft. Not very, very soft, but it's like 70% done here. So I checked it. I stirred it once more, and then after this now I'll just reduce the heat and allow it to now, when they say you're allowing it to simmer, like I'll just now allow the heat to do the remaining work by softening the rice, because the truth is that when you over put water in your jollof, that is when it may become soggy and it will not stay one, and everybody wants their jollof to stay one. So here I'll just cover it and then just allow the steam to do its work. I also went ahead to fry some plantain, because this food is actually for people. Guys, I'm a food vendor, so I cook for people. So I think this is for a birthday celebration in an office, and they requested for jollof rice, pepper chicken, and some plantain. So I went ahead to fry some plantain, and by the time I was done frying this plantain, I checked on the rice and it was good. It had softened a little bit more, so it wasn't hard and it wasn't too soft. It was just the perfect texture that is needed. Guys, this food dey enter your eye, tell me, e dey enter your eye. So at this point I started dishing. I think it was about 50 plates, if I'm not mistaken, either 40 or 50 plates of jollof rice. So at this point I was just dishing out the food. And guys, I hope you enjoyed watching this video. Did you enjoy this cooking process? Do you make your jollof rice this way, or are you team frying your stew base for jollof before any other thing? This is how I've made my jollof rice for years, and it doesn't disappoint. It always comes out very nice. So guys, thank you so much for watching. Please give this video a massive thumbs up, and please subscribe to my channel if you haven't. Till I see you next time. Bye. Guys, seafood now. Seafood now. If you eat there, you go lick finger. Seafood.